Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Right now on your screens we are looking at the 2018 Mahindra Roxor with the 2.5 liter turbo diesel engine. So we just had a very nice rain pour. You guys can see how things are wet all around here, and I haven't really washed the Roxor, but I'll need to clean that up. But so far I would say the paint has really held up good, and I'm pleased about that. So I just want to talk today a little bit about the Roxor and probably some of the manufacturing challenges that the Mahindra Automotive North America might have had to go through in order to pull this off. So to begin with, you have to first of all recognize that this is a full-fledged automobile. So in the classic sense of the word, in India it was sold as first I think the MM540, and then they changed it to the Mahindra Thar, with the Thar being one of the deserts that you have in Asia, and a good chunk of it is in India. So the Thar desert, just like we have the Sahara in Africa. So very capable vehicle, built initially under license from Jeep, and in fact some of the Thars actually have a plaque on them. I think the MM540s that says Jeep, and so very popular vehicle in India, but with improved safety standards and also emissions standards that have been going up, the vehicle was ripe for a redesign. So right now I don't think you can get the same model in India. They stopped producing them over there, but I think parts should be very plentiful. So Tesla, a US manufacturer, has attempted to go into India. Actually had some talks, but ultimately they couldn't break through from what I understand, and that is because India has a very tough tariff system where they actually penalize vehicles that are manufactured elsewhere and imported into the country very heavily. So you have to open up a factory there in case you really are serious about doing business. I think it's the case for BMW. They have a factory in India, and most of the vehicles you will see on Indian roads are actually produced there. So exotics, you can see those on YouTube that have been imported, but for the most part the vehicles used in India, motorcycles used in India, are all produced in India. So in its short run in the United States, the Roxor has actually gone through quite a few changes. You can see how it stands and how it compares with the full-size Hummer. So it doesn't look too much out of place. It actually stands taller. If I can show you guys, it's actually sitting taller. But there's a couple of things that made this Roxor look different. A base Roxor, the very first time I saw it, it's actually it looks very diminutive because it's sitting on very much smaller tires, and it doesn't have a lift kit, so it's closer to the ground. You'll be surprised that the Roxor is this Intimidator is actually, I think, about the same length or even a little bit longer than the Roxor, but it looks so much smaller because it's not lifted. So just doing a simple lift with bigger tires completely changes the look of the Roxor. A couple of things changed over the years. The initial period when the Roxor was launched, they had a special edition, and that special edition had some kind of stripes on here that said special edition on there, and then on the inside they had a silver covered dash, and at first it looked like some kind of brushed metal, but it turns out it was just a kind of wrap that was placed on the sheet metal and put on there, but it looked quite beautiful and distinctive. And then the special models were all numbered. I think they were like 50 or 100 or 500, but they were numbered, and you had the numbers out here. So you say special edition number this or 500 or whatever. So that's what they had. It's quite impressive to think that in its short run here in the United States, we've had about 3 iterations of the Roxor, and the current one that is being produced, I think, is the definitive one that will be here for a long time to come. And had it not been that Mahindra had a huge engineering department, lots of engineers, and the manufacturing capability, I am pretty sure that they would have folded up and abandoned the Roxor project. You just have to take a look at some of the EV manufacturers, follow up what's happening with them, and see the struggles they have to go through on a daily basis to understand the complexity that goes into manufacturing some of these vehicles. The same applies to the aftermarket, where some local producers here in the United States have picked up the ball in areas where people want to modify the Roxor, especially with things like the lift kit, what size bigger tires can fit on here, getting a cab, tuning the ECU to get the engine closer to producing the kind of power that it's designed to produce. It's a big engine, 2.5 liters, and this one has just a tiny 1000cc engine, 3 cylinders, whereas this is a 4-cylinder engine, full automotive quality clutch. You also have accessories that the aftermarket is producing. Show you a few, like the tire carrier I have there. It's produced by a company called Strong Made. They also do this hitch, also from Strong Made. So those are one of the companies that rose up to the challenge early enough, just as the Roxor was hitting the market, and they came up with those products. The big question that people ask all the time: can I get my Roxor street legal? There's these guys based out of Florida, Dirt Legal. I think now they're called Shift, and I think they're still in business. They cater to the off-roading community, dirt bikes. I think those bikes you can get from Amazon and from China or Wish. When you buy those bikes from there, you can actually contact those guys and they will help you with registration. So the Roxor has actually had quite a lot of support, and I think one thing that keeps the Roxor going is that the aftermarket has really come to the rescue. So the main thing, ECU tuning and the aftermarket parts is what really made the Roxor endure, because part of it was the manufacturer. They didn't back out, they just kept going ahead, and then the aftermarket guys saw that and they got encouraged, and they also kept up on their side. So it was a dual action, which was synergistic, I think, and that's what has kept the Roxor going. Because Mahindra just by itself, if the market wasn't absorbing the vehicles they produced, they would have probably folded up shop and abandoned the whole project. So so that was really a good thing that both sides worked together even though independently, and that's what has kept the Roxor on the road. So a lot of things changed. For example, the grille up front, you guys can see they went through this one, and then now they have a different design for the grille. Also, they started throwing in the pan that you see right there, and that's to cover to protect the oil sump, the oil pan, because the oil pan on this is massive. It just holds like really large amounts of oil. I believe that's how a vehicle that has to go off-road, instead of storing the jugs of oil in the back of your vehicle, here they just made the sump really big, so it has a very large volume. You don't need all of it, but hey, if your vehicle starts burning oil and you have to go 3,000 miles in between oil changes, then the chances that you will run low on oil and blow up your engine are next to are vanishingly small. So that's a design consideration which I think applies to the environment in which the vehicle has been operating for a while, that is in India. Other changes, they made some changes to the ratio of the gears in the axles up front and in the back. So when this came out, mine is a 2018, so we had it's all faded, but it was written there, it's 3.73 is to 1. So that's the ratio I have on there, front and back. And I think later models came with a 5.38, which some said if you put bigger tires will bring it closer to a 3.73. So mine with the bigger tires, I can actually go a little bit faster than the stock 2018s. 2018s were confined to 45 miles an hour, and the later models went as high as 55 miles per hour. So yeah, that's what I was just gonna talk to you guys about today, because I look at those EV manufacturers and how they are actually going through a lot of struggles just to get their vehicles to market. Everybody is talking about the supply chain issues, and it's just a very, very difficult and tough business to break into. And I'm just so happy that Mahindra stepped up to the plate, and the aftermarket also hasn't dropped the ball. They also believe a lot in the Roxor. Thanks for joining me, guys. We'll catch you on the next one. Bye for now.